The Hawkeye game is over, but the conversation is about to begin. It's time for the Black and Gold Rush with Travis and Ross.
Live from the Iowa Lottery Studios, it is the Black and Gold Rush. The ReliaQuest is now over. Iowa over Vanderbilt, 34-27. Vanderbilt was one of those teams, Ross Peterson, that was upset it didn't make the college football playoff. It had a 10-2 record. And, well, they go into this game and get handed a defeat by the Iowa Hawkeyes. 34-27, the final score.
Yeah, fun football game for, fun football game, period, but really fun football game because the Hawkeyes win that one. And, Travis, the only 10-win team not to make the SEC, I would imagine, or not to make the college football playoff, I'm sorry. The only 10-win SEC team, I should slow down, not to make the college football playoff. They had a good case to make. I would imagine as fans were preparing for this game and looking up Iowa for the first time or looking up this Iowa season, they were looking at it and realizing this is a really good Hawkeye football team that can play with some really great football teams. They did it all season long. And that's what that was today. It was nice. From the opening drive, man, drive down the field on the opening drive and get that touchdown and never trail in the game. And that
I lost you, Ross Peterson.
Uh-oh.
I lost Ross Peterson. Let's go to the phones at 515-517-2303. Let's go to North Liberty. That's where Little Tom is. Little Tom, welcome to the Rush Radio Show and the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
Well, that's kind of why Diego Pavia didn't win the Heisman. Only performed in the second half, not in the first, which is kind of sad. And then good win. I liked it. And
Ross, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay,
Yep.
now we're live. Yeah, but your mic's different now. You're off the road. So
I'm off the road.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. What happened was my mixer froze on me. Let's bring in Tyler Kluver real quick. I'm sorry about that, Tyler. My mixer froze and knocked me right off the air. It was crazy. I had to reboot everything.
You're good.
How about that win? Win?
Come on now. Tell me that doesn't count. Come on.
Oh, it counts. It counts. We were actually talking about this morning, to whether or not, how do you look at it? And I didn't want to sound hypocritical, but the truth is, when we look at some of these bowl games, the teams we don't care about, these other bowl games that are early on, they don't get your interest. But when you get a higher level of competition, it means a little bit more. You pay a little bit more attention, and that if they would have lost, I might have felt a little different. But no, it counts, because it was you got 27 guys that aren't going to be back next year, and they laid it all out there.
You look at that game, and I can't understand how anybody would look at that. You can play the game with the Stowers kid, like, oh, if we had the tight end, sure. But outside of one guy, sure looked like a lot of dudes who were ready and excited to play football today. I mean, you from snap number one, Iowa had I think it was a false start penalty on the second play of the game.
Yeah.
And Vanderbilt's defense was going nuts. They were trying to fire up the crowd. Like, okay, tell me those guys didn't want to be there. It's just that narrative is, and it's fun because we don't have to play that now. I think you can count that. I mean, they're obvious. The record books are going to count that as a win, but I think as a fan personally, everybody can be like, yeah, that felt pretty good. Like, we beat a good quarterback who made a lot of great plays in the second half. He was going to get his eventually. And Iowa went out there and did it. They finally finished a ball game, because this felt very USC-esque in that first half. Like, hey, we just shut down a high-powered offense, and then, here they come. But Iowa was finally ready to respond down in Tampa. And a nice, cool day in Tampa. I wish I would have had that for the Outback Bowl I played in 2016, but nonetheless, Hawkeye win.
Good perspective to remember back after the UAlbany game, when we didn't know what to make of Mark Gronowski. I'm victim of that. Mark Gronowski is the best example I've seen of a guy that continually got better as the season went on. Got better, performed better, stats got better, seemed to, be more comfortable as the season went on. And, not necessarily that culminated today or anything like that, grand, but it's wild to go back to remember those first couple of plays, the reaction after those first couple of games, and then see the Mark Gronowski that played today. That was fun. I want to talk to you, though. Tyler, something to say there? Because I got something else we were going to go on.
Let's get to Tom. He's been on hold just real quick. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Tom in North Liberty. Tom, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's up?
Hey, I'll say it again. I think this whole little Tom, big Tom thing, man, like, this is a show we can take on the road, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Right? So, hey, Ross, Tyler, hey, man, guys, you guys all have a happy new year, and be safe tonight. And I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. But I just want to say a couple things, right? Like, I wish we would have saw this Mark Gronowski all year. Like, he was, like, dropping dimes in the pass game. I can't say enough about Reese Vanderzee's body control on that touchdown. Like, that's an amazing catch, right? And, earlier this year when they lost to Stranga, we're like, oh, man, that's a big loss. Dude, Benami he's going to be a factor next year. He's going to be a problem. He's a good football player. He's got good hands.
He's a freshman?
He gets open. He gets up the field. Yeah. He's a freshman, right? Like, there's a lot to be excited about for next year. And you know what? Little Tom did tell me that he wanted to say one other thing, and he forgot to say it, but he just wanted me to let you guys know that he thinks Pavi is a fraud. And he sucks. So I don't necessarily share that sentiment. Little Tom's 13, and this chapter, for you guys that have kids, this whole chapter of life with a 13-year-old and watching football and doing this little shtick. This is like the best chapter of my life right now, guys.
Yeah.
I just can't say enough. I'm glad I found your show again, because this is awesome. We'll continue next year. It'll be Little Tom, and then I'll come on second. But again, you guys have a happy new year.
Thanks,
Tom. I appreciate
Tom.
everything you do. Go Hawks, and we'll link up next year, boys.
Thanks, man. See you, Tom.
We'll see you.
It's interesting. I know you got a question to ask Tyler, Ross, but how he said that Pavi was a fraud. He's not, but it's funny. He's one of those sneaky guys, Tyler and Ross, that you watch him. He almost short arms it. You're like, there's no way he's going to throw it that long. You just like, and then he just makes plays, and it's like you just from the initial watch, like, well, he's not that good, but he just continues to get better and better and better. He finished 25 of 38, 347 yards for the air, 2 touchdowns. But Mark Gronowski, one of the best games we've seen him through the air, 16 of 22, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Plus, he ran the hell out of the ball, 10 carries, 54 yards. I am going to say this. You're right, Ross, going back to your original comment, going back to the UAlbany game. I almost wish we had one more year with him, right? Because he got better every single game.
Yeah. Go ahead if you want to weigh in on it, because I would say the thing with Pavia, I mean, what Kluver said earlier, when he's dropping those balls at the end of the game like that, great players do it for 4 quarters. Really great players do it. You know, a lot of guys, they run out of talent going down the back stretch, right? Got a really good start, get around those first couple of turns, make it through those first 3 quarters, and then you see the talent start to separate. He's a really talented quarterback. So I hate taking shots at guys right after you beat them. When he performed well, threw some great balls today. There were 2 of them back to back on one of those drives that Hawkeyes almost had interceptions. He's overthrowing the defensive back by an inch and dropping it into his receiver's hands. He's a really talented quarterback. He's almost like
they're not the same quarterback, but he's like a bite-sized version of Gronowski. It's this weird chop. They both have a choppiness to their game that isn't like your typical smooth.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch Dante Moore and that Maava from USC, when they throw the ball, man, it looks like that ball is just an extension of their arm. It's like it's so they
smooth,
born to throw a football, and even the way they move around the field and stuff. Gronowski, he's more of a rumbler, and even in a smaller fashion, Diego kind of rumbles a little bit, and his throwing is like. He's gunning it. It's fun to watch. He isn't a fraud. He's a good player. But
do your thing, buddy. You're okay.
No, you're good. I have my little Tom here too, who's recovering from some a tonsil surgery, and so yeah, so she wanted to come down and wear her headphones and like dad. But yeah, great. And the one thing I wanted to say about having another year with Gronowski was, I think this is why one of the big conversations is, hey, do we go to the portal again, or do we feel good with Hecklinski? Lester down at the Bull site this week during media said, it's really exciting to have a guy who we feel good about, who's going into year 2 in this system and understands it. I think that they like what they have in him and Brown.
And I think that the reason, you know, and Kirk said never say never, but if you do go into the portal, I think you want to give a quarterback some time to feel like, hey, this is my job, right? I mean, you don't have to be – you're always going to be looking behind your shoulders. There's going to be people pushing, but you want that to be internal. You don't want to bring in a guy who you're paying money to go, well, is he automatically the starter? Let Hecklinski go ahead now and take the reins from Gronowski and see what he can do in the spring and in the fall and let the chips fall where they may. I like that attitude, because then you can have a quarterback for a number of years instead of just one.
Now, Travis, you're saying if you go into the transfer,
I'm saying don't go in the transfer.
Okay.
Don't go grab one. If you feel good about your guy, don't put the extra pressure on him. Hey, well, they're paying this guy to come in. You know, is he going to be the starter? I think they'll have a pretty good understanding after spring whether or not that Hecklinski is going to be the guy and can lead this team in the fall. So that's kind of what my thought process would be, and kind of agreeing with Tyler that if you know you got a guy who can carry you for the next couple of years, ride him, man, and build his confidence up.
And it's going to look different for a 3rd year in a row, because last year we leaned heavily on KJ, and then this year we leaned heavily on Mark's ability in the run game, and specifically him being basically a running back.
Yeah.
And then next year, it's probably going to look a lot more like a traditional football team, and what Lester thinks and hopes it will look like more consistently, with a quarterback that is primarily a thrower.
Sounds so weird to say this. Outside of almost the entire offensive line and your quarterback, you're getting a lot back.
Dude, Vonamy, and I looked at my wife and I was like, they both made, obviously, the touchdown catch for RVZ and a couple of those Vonamy plays, and I'm like, well, we're gonna have to pay them more to stay. Dang. Like those are plays where like you just made an extra 20 and not $20, $20,000 because you're making plays like that. And there's gonna be teams all over the country. This was a feature game to start today.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, national people who are tweeting about RVZ and Vonamy. And now,
but two Iowa boy. I mean, Kluver, if you had the perfect snap your junior year in a bowl game and they came to you and offered you a boatload of cash, what would you have said? I'm a Hawkeye.
I would have said, well, what's the number? You know,
That's the key. What's the number? Because
yeah, it's always a conversation.
I mean, you say it's $20,000. I say it's 200,000. I mean, we're not talking $20,000. We're talking 200,000. Who knows what? Who knows what he's getting now? It's going to be a
very,
big number.
very interesting. Even for a long snapper, because the starting long snapper gets paid now too. So I've had to put myself in that position and say, well, if Iowa was going to pay me $25,000, and then all of a sudden Alabama came along or somebody and said they were going to pay me $75,000, which is probably closer to what the long snappers are making. That's a real conversation to have there. That's like I mean, some of these kids, pretty much everyone outside, like if you're a starter and you're not a specialist, you have the ability to make 6 figures salary. Put it away in the bank. Let it start earning interest. I mean, you can dang near set yourself up for life with a couple years of college football nowadays. It's wild.
All right, so let me ask you: if I gave you guys the money, I give you the purse strings, and I let you look at this roster, I show you all of the offensive line leaving, I show you a starting quarterback that's leaving, I show you a ton of defense. It's easier to tell you the guys that are sticking around on defense than are leaving. You have an entire defensive front to replace. Where do you spend your money?
You don't touch quarterback.
Okay, all right, I like that.
Especially with what they're saying, right? Even if he's as good or maybe like slightly worse, like negligibly, marginally worse than in total than Gronowski was, what if you can then go spend an extra $250 on 2 rush ends to replace on the defensive line? Linebacker's going to be fine. I think they're sitting over there in Iowa City going, yeah, we're good at the linebacker position. Yeah. Probably need a corner, would like a corner. And then I think you maybe go find one more weapon on offense. Those would be my 4, like a DB, 2 D linemen, and a receiver. Those would be my. I'd love to.
Do you go after any offensive linemen? I mean, you're losing.
I think they feel good there too.
Losing three of them, but Trav, you've always been able to develop those offensive linemen.
But look how long it took this offensive line to develop. It took 3 years to get this offensive line to where it needs to be.
They're back to where they want to be with their depth, though.
That's fair.
So these guys are all we're losing them, but we've been able to we had to go through the dark years there, but now I think they've got guys like Dotzler, who was right there with Lauk at the beginning of the season. They didn't even know who was going to start.
Yeah,
I think he moves.
Dotzler's a junior.
Yeah, I think he goes to the other side for tackle. So that takes care of one. And then you have to look at your center and your guard, and I think they like what they have there too. I've heard a lot about Myslinski. I've who's going to be an older guy. I think he's got a 5th or 6th year, and I think they like where their development has come around to finally after what felt like 10 years. It was really 2 or 3, and then that's going to be headlined by quite literally 2 of the best offensive linemen in the country going into next year with Lauk and Pieper. Like they're going to be on draft boards. Those 2 are going to be on draft boards. That's how good they are.
Let's go to that last drive that put Iowa up, 34-24, right?
Okay.
And that is they coming into that drive, they were 0 for on 3rd down conversion. They went 3 for 4 on 3rd down conversion. They took 7 minutes off the clock on that drive, and that really that was old school right there. That was a 7-minute drive. I think 13 plays, 3 for 4 on 3rd down. That was huge to get points right there.
Classic Kirk Ferentz drive.
Very much so.
Yeah. That's I was gonna pull up the stats. I wanted to see what it looked like, but I know that Lester has been pretty darn good at 3rd downs, and a couple places. I know this because I think he said it in his opening press conference when he got hired. And Leicester really cares about third downs and red zone.
They were 6 of 12 on 6 of 12 on third down, but going into that drive, which was in the fourth quarter, they were 0 for 2 in the second half. They were 2 for 4 in the first half, so 50%. They go 3 for 4 on that drive. They end up 6 for 12, 50%, but you'll take 50% all day long on third down.
Yeah. And they've excelled both in the red zone, and I think Iowa actually ended up with one of the best red zone scoring percentages in the country this year. I'd have to check that. And I think they're up there for that third down conversion rate as well.
Red zone was 3 for 4, should have been 4 for 4. That interception, which was not Gronowski's fault.
Man.
It was Dave Portnoy actually had a pretty good tweet right there. He goes, for a guy that bet Iowa, you don't throw the ball when you're first down and goal on the 2. Iowa's traditionally going to.
That's my brother's first reaction to run the damn ball.
You're right. You're right. Iowa top 40 in third down percentage, so that's not horrible. It's good. It's good, and I'll have to find the red zone. But that was something that
it's funny. I'm so glad we have you on, Kluver, because you rightfully give that the props for that stat to Tim Lester. I've always thought all season long, man, Mark Gronowski, and today I've thought Mark Gronowski is really good on third down. Keeps plays alive. That mobility thing we talk about. It's such a weapon so many times today. There was the one specific one early in the game. I think it's like a 3rd and 7 when he kind of scrambles out, avoids the sack, it scrambles and ends up racing upfield. I think gets 9-10 yards and slides for the first down.
It's 100% also Mark Gronowski. His ability to do both and just he's I'm telling you, Vanderbilt fell into that trap of sort of the microcosm of what Gronowski is as a quarterback, but what Iowa is as a team.
Yeah.
This isn't the Iowa that they heard about. They look on film and it's like, well, it's just not that hard to beat them. They're just not doing a lot of crazy stuff. And then you get on the field with them and you're like, Shire hits Pavia in the mouth and you're like, oh, okay. It's just grind you down. Third down or red zone offense this season, 2025, Iowa 7th in the country and 3rd amongst Power 4 teams. Oklahoma and UCLA, the only ones ahead of them. 93.5%. We scored points 93.5% of the time when we made it into the red zone.
That's great.
Yeah.
I thought the Iowa defense, they had a problem with the hurry-up offense from Vanderbilt in that late third quarter, into the fourth quarter. They were able to kind of calm it down a little bit, enough to keep them at bay, especially that last drive. But in the first half, got to Pavia big time. I think they had 3 sacks in the first half, 1 in the second half. Ended up with 4 sacks total, and you had the 2 roughing the passer penalties. So they were trying to send a message to get
roughing the passer on Graves. Man, that was horrible. That was a bad call.
Was that the last one?
The last one on the last drive. That was so bad. He's within a half step. There was in real time, that's like a half second. And he rolled off of him trying to be nice, to avoid the land on the drive rule. And they throw that flag. That one, every once in a while in a game, you get one call where you're like, oh, the refs are trying to make this even though I never believe that. Well, your emotional reaction is they're trying to get Pavia a win here. I see what's going on. This ACC crew.
I looked at it a little differently. I said if it would have been any other quarterback but Diego Pavia, meaning here's a guy that finished 2nd in the Heisman, sometimes star power plays a factor in it. And they go, okay, we're going to protect him. That's the way I look at it. Now, there were 15 flags total today. Iowa only flagged 5 times. I think 4 of those were in the first half. They did a much better job in the second half. But Vanderbilt was flagged 10 times today.
89th in penalties, fewest penalties. I looked that one up early in the game when they had 3 or 4 in 3 minutes. I was like, well, the discipline factor is going to play a role today, isn't it? Yeah. And sure enough, it did.
But at one point late in the first half, a lot of those must have come to the second half, because I remember at one point in the first half they put up the penalties were 3 to 4 I mean, Hawkeyes
they got a bunch of those offside penalties on.
I think it was
1
yard
line.
right before that series of stuff happened. Right. Did you know that rule? Did you hear, by the way? And I hate to interrupt, but did you guys hear them say the rule that the referees can award a touchdown if a team continues to do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's nothing else the offense can do.
Yeah,
pre-snap that can sort of match the power of just getting a penalty and making you restart, reline up, so that at some point they can step in. I did know that. We learned that when I was playing at some point. Would have loved to see that. That would have been cool.
515-517-2303. That's the number to call if you want to chime in. We did have some technical difficulties at the start of the show, but those appear to be fixed. So go ahead and call now if you have something to chime in on today's game, which was an impressive 34-27 win for the Iowa Hawkeyes over Vanderbilt, a 10-2 team out of the SEC that had some impressive wins this year. And, I was having a text conversation in the middle of the game, and it hit me as I was watching Iowa. I go, and when you watch them week after week, you take some things for granted. But I went, this team's really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And you look back now and how close they were to beating Indiana, how close they were to beating Oregon and even USC. And you go, you hate to play woulda, coulda, shoulda, but man, it's this close to being an elite team in the college football playoff and not there. And I see why Iowa's the only 4-loss team that's ranked in the college football playoff poll.
They proved that they proved their worth today, Travis. That's a good point. As far as the ranking,
yes,
and handling a team like that. Yep.
One play, one screenplay, and a field goal against Indiana when Gronowski goes out, and the whole season, the little butterfly effect might look different.
Trav, I thought you were wrapping up to take a time out there. I'm sorry.
I wanted to get that in. We got a call coming in.
Okay.
Ross asked this, and it was late in the game, and I understood it, but I thought Ross you were a little confused when Vanderbilt kicked the field goal on 2nd and 10, and it's still bothering you. I can see that. What'd you think of that, Tyler? That strategic move of kicking a field goal on 2nd and 10. I knew what they were doing for clock reasons. They're like, hey, we got to score twice anyway. If we keep trying to drive the ball, we could burn a whole minute off the clock.
I think that was it. Yeah. And I think that, so yeah, I think that was it. There's this weird thing. And I there's been some conversations online about this recently. When you're down 2 scores, what do you do? The analytics versus what the game feel. I was like very surprised. They ran him out there and kicked it. I was like, oh, that's something. They're just going to give the ball back to Iowa, huh? And but it's smart because now it's a 1-score game, and that offense, Iowa comes back out. The offense maybe gets a little bit tight. They're like, oh God, we're back in a 1-score game. We can't mess this up. You kind of flip the pressure. Now
could have gotten an onside kick. I mean, they tried like a squib.
Yeah,
you got a chance to get an onside kick. You're now going to get a chance to stop the clock with the 2-minute warning.
They wanted to use that 2-minute warning against Iowa.
I honestly thought that the broadcast was wrong. I swear to you, they're like second down, because I'm sitting in here and I'm like, they're kicking a field goal on 2nd down.
It was weird, but
what kind? Like this is somebody mentioned Xbox earlier. This is like when you accidentally hit the wrong button in Xbox and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm kicking a field goal.
The weird part about it is you do give up. You're foregoing the opportunity to just win the game with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which with how fast those guys were striking in the second half, you're like, I don't know if they just kind of take a shot, another shot, it might just hit. Because what you saw there in the second half with the up tempo and the speed was like you saw skill outmatch our skill, and that's just what it was. Now you also have to. That's dangerous because you take a couple of those shots and they just miss. And you're like, wow, it is very quickly 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10 here. And they have to get bailed out by a second in the Heisman voting quarterback. And not everybody has one of those. So sort of a unique position that Vanderbilt was in. But yeah, it was interesting. It made the end of the game very unique. And I don't know, it was fun. It was fun for Iowa to then go out and put it away. Right. Like,
yeah. Right. That's why I said at the very beginning of the show, this game was a lot of fun because you win.
5-1-5,
but this is a lot more fun because you win.
517-2303. Let's go to Altoona. That's where Caleb is. Caleb, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Just calling. Long-time listener. Actually, Tyler, I DJ'd your wedding.
Oh, shout out, bro.
Freaking
great music.
Trying to get your guys' thank you. Just trying to get your guys' opinion on, are we in a transition period now where it used to be the defense was the anchor, held us down, kept us in games, was the highlight of the team. Are we in a transition now with Lester's offense that we don't need necessarily a top 10 defense anymore to keep us in games, that our offense has finally caught up? Kind of the dynamic of college football now.
I think we've moved closer to it.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
Because you're never going to say, well, we just don't need him anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'll take him. I'll take Cam Buffington and Cohen Entringer just leading a nation's top defense next year if that's the case. But yeah, I think we just have the ability to extend drives a little bit more now. And
closer in a way of like, you know, I'm closer to Spain than Travis. You're closer. It gets you a little bit closer, but Caleb, what an awesome perspective here, and how drenched in defensive wonder we all have been, where the defense takes one step back, the offense takes two steps forward, and we're all like, are we seeing a transition here? I don't think so, Caleb. I think that what we saw is that we saw the offense is finally starting to catch up, like you rightfully said there. But we just saw the defense take a tiny step back this year. You're right. A lot of those games, you go look at a lot of those losses, and you can point to it and say that the defense didn't do enough to win some of those games. And it's the first time in a very, very, very long time that we've said that.
The interesting part is I would say this: if you want to be elite, if you want to be in the college football playoff, you're going to need a top 10 defense, or at least a top 15 defense. We said this even when Brian Ferentz was the offensive coordinator, that if you can get the offense in the top 50, top 40, and still have a top 10 defense, you're going to be a playoff team. So I like what Tyler's perspective was, and that is you're moving closer by extending drives, being better on offense, but you're still going to need that elite defense if you want to play championship football. Caleb, thanks for the phone call. I appreciate it. 515-517-2303. That is the number to call. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on therushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.
515-517-2303. That is the number to call. Iowa over Vanderbilt, 34-27. In the bowl game today, you watched it on ESPN. Iowa ends the season 9-4, so 9 wins for the Hawkeyes, Ross Peterson. Tyler Kluver also taking the time to join us. He's the host, creator, and man of everything of the Washed Up Walk-Ons. One of the biggest surprises I saw today, a flea flicker. We saw a flea flicker. I mean, I'm like, is Hayden Fry coaching this team? That was one of the biggest shocks I think I've seen.
Now I can't hear Kluve. Can you guys hear me?
I was muted.
He muted himself.
All right, I was trying to this parenting thing. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Tim Lester, I wanted to see LeVar go out on a fake. That's something
I didn't think of. Yeah,
that last
cool.
field goal to go up 10. A little part of me was like, but what if we faked it? You know, what if LeVar just What if he just pulled one out right in the fourth quarter?
I didn't even think of that till that'd have been cool. Yeah.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Omaha. That's where Corey is. Corey, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on, Corey?
Hey, guys. Happy New Year. Long time no talk. How's everybody doing?
Good,
Happy
Corey.
New Year, Corey.
Good. Good to talk to you. Good to talk to you too, Kloves. Appreciate you being on here. Obviously a great game. Good to get that ranked win, monkey up the back. But guys, I have to tell you, I had so many things that I was just thinking through as I was watching that game. I decided that I was just going to give you my top 10 things that I couldn't stop thinking about as I was watching this bowl game today. Number 10, Johnson girls basketball.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm just giving you shit.
That's brilliant.
No.
That was really well done. Corey. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Right behind Martinsville Wrestling.
No, it's Don Bosco.
Couldn't leave my mind. Sorry. My mistake. No, but obviously great game. And what the real thing that I'm having trouble remembering, especially during the KF era. When's the last season that you guys can remember the offense being the side of the ball that followed through and actually did their job late in games? And that's unfair. You probably have a hard time finding out another season where the defense also struggled as much as they did late in games. But this is as frustrating as the moments were this year, and not closing out some of those big games. Like for a 9-win quarterback, I think Mark Gronowski will be remembered very fondly for a very long time. Wish we had him back for another year. In fact, I'm kind of embarrassed. I mean, Kluver knows all about this. I am the fat Cheeto dust on the fingertips type of fan. I called into your show after the Iowa State game and said that Mark Gronowski was Mark Wiseman trying to play quarterback. I mean, absolute, just super emotional, stupid take back in September, but I really enjoyed this season. Wish they got a few more of those wins under their belt. Thought it could have been really special, but yeah, time and time again, when the offense had a chance to close things out, they did it this year, and that's just not a characteristic for a Kirk Clarence team.
It's nice to see, huh?
I mean, offense makes everybody feel good. I mean, and this is the first year in a long, long time that you've been able to watch a team, and they weren't perfect all the time, but you at least had confidence in the offense, even if it got late and they needed a drive. I mean, how many times have we watched this team in the past going, well, they're not built to come back. They're not built to go 80 yards in the final 2 minutes. And they didn't even freeze after the pooch kick, right? They got it done, and you're like, oh, this is something we have not seen before. Do you think?
Guys, I want to say they punted one time in the entire second half, unless I'm missing one. I think it was just one punt in the second half that put them, by the 10-yard line. Gosh, now that I think about it, that may have been in the late second quarter even. Reese was not out there, and it's because the offense kept getting first downs. They kept getting just enough yardage to move those chains and run the clock. And you're right, Travis. In previous years, I mean, not even just previous years, the last 25 years, it's okay, we got a lead, but we better hold on to it because the offense is done scoring, and that just hasn't happened this season.
Good stuff, Corey. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, of course. Happy New Year's, guys.
You too.
Appreciate it.
I think it's wildly. I'm going to jump in here and just hijack your show.
You're fine, buddy. Do your thing.
You can hang out with us for the entire 2 hours, man.
I probably won't. I'm probably going to go in a little bit because little girl is like, Dad, I love you. And how many more years am I going to get this where she just all she wants is me?
Do it.
This defense. There's a lot of conversations where it gets thrown out like, man, it's just one of those years where we couldn't rely on the defense as much. That narrative is heavily influenced by 3 drives of the whole season, and more specifically, 2 plays that are miracle plays that happen to not go Iowa's way. Last drive against Iowa State, they needed a tipped pass double tipped pass to fall in their tight end's hands right in between 4 Iowa defenders, or we get that ball and probably win that game. The last drive of the Indiana game, which that's a good play.
Yes.
That's a good play. We're selling out defensively. That we had to that game. Indiana is a better football team than Iowa this year. There was a way that we were going to beat them. They made a good play. The other game against Oregon, where they go down in a 2-minute and they make, potentially a top 10 throw and catch all year in relative to like clutch situation. He had to put it in a absolute pipe on the sideline. And we're watching Bluey on the side. And Dante Moore and that receiver get them in scoring range. 2 plays, like a tip pass against Iowa State. If they don't give up those 3 drives at the end, they all happen to be at the end of games. So that's where the memory is, right? And that's what's influenced that. Iowa top 6th in the country in scoring defense, 6th in the country in total defense.
Again, Cliff, what I think it's most influenced by is our we have been so spoiled by this Hawkeye defense for so many years. They did make the big plays. They did come up with the timely turnover. They did make the 3rd down stop. And that, I think that's what I heard from both Caleb and Corey there is 2 younger fans, guys younger than me, that both go, man, this is different than I'm used to.
You're young, Ross.
I'm younger than
me. That's what he's trying to say.
I wasn't going to say it. I wouldn't.
Travis
say
is young too.
No. I'm by far the oldest one
What are
who's
you?
sitting here right now. I'm 55.
You have 40 years left.
I don't. I hope I don't live to 95. If I do, I hope. I hope. At least I'll have if I have my faculties and everything like that, I'll be fine. Clover, I do have a question for you on this, and I want to go to the offense because I know Kirk Ferentz did not like the way the Brian Ferentz situation was handled. We knew he was upset. Do you think he's come to terms with it? Meaning, okay, the statistics don't lie, right? I mean, the numbers are better, the offense is better. Do you think he's come to terms that okay, you may not have liked it, but this was better for the program altogether?
I think that he has, in a way, probably. I think he's happy that they're past it now and he feels good about it. Like they did get themselves in a predicament of that whole situation going poorly, and it did go about as poorly as it could have. And the way that went down with the firing or the whatever, letting go, I don't know what you call that. And now that they're a couple years out of that and it's producing 15 points a game to, I think this game puts us potentially over 29 points a game.
Yeah.
Like Tim Lester he's proven. And that's, yeah, I think in the world of college football, not just with something that happened with his son like that, but like it is a world of you have to come to terms and move on from stuff like that. And if you don't, it'll eat you alive. And you could just go back through the last 10 years. Go back to 2014-ish when people were calling for his head, 15 years into his career and all the stuff that he's gone through just in the last 10 years. If you let the Doyle stuff and the racism stuff and the COVID and you really have to just let things go and move on and adjust or you will get spit out.
Travis, I think that his attitude on it, if you were to ask him, would be Brian would have turned it around. If you'd given him time, if he had these guys, he'd have turned it around.
That's the politically correct thing to say, but you as a fan, do you believe that would have happened? Because I don't.
I'm not saying that as a fan.
Yeah.
You asked how Kirk Ferentz is feeling about it. I think when you are like that, you believe in your decisions.
Yeah.
It wasn't his decision to let go of Brian. He thought Brian was the right guy for the job. He thinks if Brian could have had this group of guys and this much time, it would have worked out and he'd have had the same results. I bet that's his take on it. Because honestly, when Corey asked the question, when was the last time you could count on the offense to do this? I took that as I went back and started trying to count, and I thought, you know what? Maybe this is the year.
2015?
No. What about 2019? Okay, the 2019 team goes 10-3. Nate Stanley's the quarterback. You've got Nico Reganey, you got Tyler Goodson, Tyrone Tracy Jr. Kai Sargent's on that team. That offense delivered. That offense was not boring.
For sure.
So
But
that's
it wasn't boring, but what they average per game? Did they even average 25 points a game?
Let's see what
I think they averaged 25 a game.
All right.
I don't think they went.
Yeah.
515-517-2303. Pat in Iowa City has been waiting on hold for a little bit. Pat, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's up?
Well, it's a great day. That's what's up. One of the things, first of all, Diego Pavia is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Mark Gronowski is pretty darn good in a totally different way. And Gronowski may be one of the most competitive players we've had in a long, long time. You could tell as the 2 weeks went along, seeing interviews of the Iowa players, that they were very serious about this game. This was a business trip, and they wanted badly to win. And obviously they did. And we saw yesterday in the press conference with the two coaches, Kirk had what we love about him, he choked up when he started talking about the offensive line. A lot of youth played today, too. One of the things that we're going to miss, it's very nice to have Drew Stevens as a comfort blanket coming down to the wire in any game, and we're badly going to need to find a place kicker for next year. One of the things that I frequently do is find obscure things to talk about. And one of the obscure things that I want to mention today, at the end of the game, when we really had to hold on, our defensive line was pretty gassed from chasing Pavia around all day. And we had some very inexperienced and very young defensive linemen in there. Guys like Luke Gaffney, Will Hubert, Joseph Anderson played a little bit, and Jose Epinesa played a little bit at the end of the game. And they acquitted themselves very well and helped hold on to that lead. Lastly, I just want to thank you guys for putting this program together in this manner. We've enjoyed it all year, and wish you and your listeners a very happy New Year.
Thank
you,
you, Pat. We appreciate it.
Very nice of you, sir.
Tyler, because I know you're going to go be a dad here pretty soon, but I don't want to let you go before I ask this. The portal is going to open up on January 2nd.
Yep.
Do you how many Iowa players do you think jump into the portal? And would one of those running backs jump into the portal?
You got three guys there with time, with a couple years remaining.
Yeah,
I think one of them already said that he was that Terrell TJ Washington. Whatever his name, sometimes I get him mixed up. I think that kid said he was maybe going to explore the portal. I might have made that up or heard that somewhere.
I might have made that up.
So sorry, TJ, if you're not. That would be the room you look at, because you do have to replace a lot, right? And I think a lot of people on the roster feel like you also have a huge class of like the COVID year is finally over, right?
Yeah.
So you have this massive senior class, which leaves more room than average years on a roster.
Yeah.
So everybody moves up. I think a lot of people feel like, hey, maybe I get in the rotation next year. And it's Iowa, right? So you've got that relative to other schools too. So there's just going to be way less than most people. 6 or 7 guys maybe on the whole team. Wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's a good number. I mean, if you get into double digits, I think you start going, okay, what's going on here? Is there tampering? But if it's 6 or 7, I'm okay with that. I mean,
and some of those 6, 7 might be back.
6, 7.
You son.
My daughter's too young to even understand that joke, but yeah,
mine's not, buddy.
6, 7.
There's not one that flies by my house without that happening.
Yeah, and now the chat's gonna go crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be, and they won't be guys who were like, oh no, like we lost that guy, right? So I don't know. I think it's you always get this feeling. It happens every single year. It's why we love college football. It's why it makes so much money, and the guys are making the revenue is crazy because for some reason it's entertaining and we love the story. And I feel like it's always exciting and there's potential. Last year at this time, we were a couple weeks away from like, oh my God, we got Mark Gronowski. Now there's going to be a new storyline this offseason.
Yeah.
We're right there. It's fun. And for us, guys like you and me who cover it on a show and get to talk about it, it's like, what are the juicy storylines, like we're excited for the offseason, and it'll be fun going into January. Quarterback storylines, all that, transfer portal. It'll be fun to cover.
Excellent stuff.
Thanks for joining us, man. We always appreciate it, bud.
See you, boys.
See you, Tyler.
Tyler Kluver joining us. Make sure to check out the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast. You'll have a new episode for the bowl game coming out very, very soon. We want you to chime in and have conversations with us. What did you think of the bowl game today at 515-517-2303? We got an hour in the books, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes left, or a full hour. Depends on your phone calls and your interaction. It is the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
My name is Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat, Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage, and that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on therushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.
It is the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Good to have you along as the Iowa Hawkeyes are victorious over Vanderbilt in the bowl game today. End the season on a 9-4 record. We kind of go back and forth with bowl games, but a win in a bowl game makes you feel a hell of a lot better than a loss.
That's a good, right way to put it, man. Better than a stick in the eye. Better than it could have been. Did the game matter? It felt like Clifford said. Did that? Man, I never got around to that question that I had for him about these final games for these guys. That's the thing I was saying this morning. You never know how much this is going to mean to the team. And it did seem from that opening drive like this team was dialed in, that this game did matter to them, that they did want to win. I'm not saying that wasn't the case for Vanderbilt. That it's not that was a one-sided. Only one team wanted to win today. Not what I mean. What does it mean? It seemed like it meant more. This Hawkeye team went out there and played with a lot of purpose, as you say, Travis. Walk with purpose. They were walking with purpose today.
They were. I think what sent the message was when everybody decided to come back, nobody sat out for Iowa. And that was, I think that says a lot about an overused word, which is culture. But culture does mean something. I don't know how you define. I always define culture as this. Do I like where I'm at? Do I like the people I'm around? That's culture to me. It's not about
me too.
Having all the fancy, facilities and stuff like that. Culture is, do I like the people I'm working with and for? And when you get everybody that comes back, you go, oh, that's saying a message. They want to send a message. 515-517-2303. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Pella. That's where Carter is. Carter, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on?
Hey guys, just want to say great win. You guys are doing great on the podcast here. And my question is going to be, what do you guys think we need out of the portal after pretty much losing a whole bunch of our offensive line and a whole bunch of our defense and our QB?
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this. Thanks, Carter, for the compliments in the phone call, man. We talked about this a little bit with Tyler Kluver as well, and I agree with him on the quarterback thing. I feel like you've been 50-50 on the quarterback portal grab. Cade McNamara, I think you can call a miss. For the amount of money that they allegedly spent on getting him and what the production ended up being, I'd call that a miss. I think Mark Gronowski's a hit. Mark, you wouldn't have had the season you had without Mark Gronowski. Wouldn't have won the game they won today the way they did without Mark Gronowski. That's a hit. That's a win. I'm not sure you go back to that well again quickly, especially when you've got Hecklinski, who they seem to believe in. So I don't think it's quarterback. Offensive line, you're returning a couple of offensive linemen that, again, are fantastic, and they've always done a good job of developing those offensive linemen through the system. They feel like they've got good depth there. I'm not sure I'd go crazy in offensive line. Here's where Kluver and I disagree. I'm not going after any skill position guys. Those are not difference makers at the University of Iowa. And by the way, you've still got a couple of pretty talented.
You got Vanderzee, who's going to be just fine once he's 100% healthy. Benami, who's incredible. You've got a deep running back.
Right. You got a couple of good wide receivers there. Really good, deep stable of running backs. Tight ends looking fantastic. So I'm not going to mess with any of my skill positions. If I'm going into the portal to grab guys, I'm going to focus on defense. I think you hit it there. You're losing a lot on defense. You're losing Llewellyn, Graves, Pace, Herkett. I'm missing Hall. Wampka's gone. So anyway, you're losing a lot. Which one of those guys do you go in and try to replace somebody with? And let's not forget Caden Weegan. When we talk about skill position guys,
true.
Caden Weegan's gone as well.
But you have to find a guy that is batshit crazy because I mean,
we have a psychological profile we'd like you to take.
It's like, hey, Caden, can you take this so we know exactly what your psychological profile is, so we can now start testing everybody on the team and then testing everybody else who comes in to see if they fit your psychological profile, to see if you and if you have the speed, we want you to field punts and kickoffs. You know, Kluver did bring up rush ends. That may not be a bad place to start.
Great one. Yep.
And a corner. Listen, Iowa's defensive backfield didn't impress me this year. There were times they got beat.
Great point, dude. I mean, including even
today,
a couple times, right?
So
good
that
call,
help, Carter.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, I think it'd be great to see another wide receiver come in from the portal, but I completely see where you guys are coming from in the way of wouldn't really mess with them, and I'd agree with getting a few more corners since weren't all that impressive either. So
yeah.
Thanks, Carter. Appreciate it, man. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Brent in Des Moines. Brent, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on?
Not much, guys. I just want to call in, wish you a happy New Year, both of you, and thank you also for the program that you put on. It's been fantastic.
Thank you, man. Happy New Year to you too, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. Just a couple of thoughts. I meant, I know we talked a lot about the offense, which I agree with, and then when we had an offense that could, kind of win a game for us. That again, not that the defense is poor, but just having the offensive ability. I think it goes back to the quarterback. I mean, the ability, I said that early in the year, the ability to run and make something happen and scramble out of things. I think that's just huge. I hope that we can recruit more to that going forward. I feel like every really good team had kind of a mobile quarterback, maybe with the exception of one, had a quarterback that could move and do things, but definitely that ability to run. And think about how many times we had like a 3rd and 7 this year, and then Mark ran up the middle and got the first down for us, and we ended up scoring and making things happen. So I agree with Ross. I don't think we need to agree. I hear people say we need to go to the portal for receivers. Why? We have Vanderzee and Howard and others. I think we're fine there. We just need to throw him the ball more.
Yeah.
But I'll give you, before I let you go, I'm going to give you my surprises for the both offense and defense. I'm going to start with defense. My biggest surprise this year on defense was Jaden Montgomery. When he came in, I thought we were probably going to drop off because he wasn't the starter, and he played very, very well. It was really sneaky good. Not that somebody else didn't play well. We know about some of the others that were mainline starters, but from him, a surprise in terms of maybe a guy I wasn't looking at the start of the year. I think the other one was maybe TJ Hall just kind of having his best year. Kind of struggled for a number of years, and the team had a very good year. I think that was great and a surprise on that side. I think Carson Shire was waiting. I think he's also, I wouldn't call him a surprise. I thought we thought he'd do pretty well, and he did deliver. Then on the offensive side, Bename, the tight end, definite surprise.
Big
Think
time.
about where he started the year.
He's right now. You can go. He's going to be the next stable of NFL guy coming out of that tight end position.
Yeah, and they're just absolutely stacked at tight end. We could lose a tight end or two there just because we got so many guys between what we have now, what's coming in. The other surprise here on the offensive side was Trevor Lau. I mean, the fact how well he played. I thought that early on they were playing both him and Dotzler. I thought Dotzler looked really good too, but the way that Lau played across the year was just absolutely fantastic. I think those two guys are major surprises there. And I think Vandersee, I think we knew that he could be good, but did we really think he was going to be this good? You know what I'm saying? So I think those three guys are the surprises on the offensive side.
Think
that's all I got.
Does Dotzler just move to right tackle next year? Do you think one of those guys slides inside the guard?
I would think he would move to right tackle. I think he'll do a really good job. I thought he looked really good this year too, but boy, Lau just played phenomenal. So you got to feel great about the two tackles next year. I'm assuming it will be Dotzler on the right side.
Good topic. I love that, Brent. I love that. Your biggest surprises of the season. I like that a lot. How about Xavier? You know, 'cause I was worried after that junior year. I felt like he kind of took a step back. I would put maybe Wampa in that defensive side. He had a really good season. Not great. There were moments that weren't great. He had a really good senior year after what I felt like was a step back in the junior year. So not sure I can put him in as a surprise though for his season. Let me think about that one, Brent. That's a good one.
Yeah, I agree though. Xavier had a great season. I thought he played his best football this year overall. Not everything's perfect, but I thought he looked so much more comfortable back in that free safety area. For whatever reason, I thought it was a good move to play him in kind of that strong safety for a while because we were pretty good at the free safety, but he just looked more comfortable back in the free safety spot. So yeah, he had a great year. He's been a great Hawkeye too, by the way. Great Hawkeye. So yeah, there's just some really good things that happened this year. Some guys that emerged, and yeah, I think it's very positive going forward. And I was not very positive. You guys know, I thought we were probably at the end of Kirk's tenure, and boy, he just proves you wrong again and again, doesn't he? Over the years, just when you think it's going off the rails, he comes back. One more thing before I let you go. This was a really sneaky 9-4 season. It kind of reminds me of that Sean Green 9-4 season, where this team was a lot better than 9-4 to a degree. I mean, they played a lot better than 9-4. But you know, that's the way, like Kirk says, that's football. You know, some things, you know, some games we lost that were close, and the ball didn't bounce our way. You know, but it was this team really fought hard and played well. So I think they can all be proud. They had a great season, in my opinion.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, buddy.
If there's one thing we've learned, and we've known it, what Mark Gronowski has helped us understand even to a bigger extent, and there's different types of mobile, right? But you see, especially on when he was nearly sacked, Ross, and then took off for 42, 48 yards, which was an incredible run. That we talked about it with Kluver in the first hour, the offensive improvement and being able to do different things. A mobile quarterback has created that ability. I'm not saying you have to be, you know, super mobile, but you have to have some mobility to you. Mark Gronowski was a different type of mobile, but man, he kept drives alive a lot. He was able to use his body on the tush push and a lot of quarterback sneaks. They relied on him a lot. From here on out, Iowa must, if it wants to be at that level, have a mobile quarterback. Has to.
It helps. It helps a lot. You can cut a lot of other corners if you've got that mobile quarterback. It's a weapon to definitely have. I don't know what else to say to it, Trav. I do think that, you know, teams get by without having to have a mobile quarterback. I much prefer to have one. You're right that Kirk Ferentz offenses are a lot better when he's got one, when he's got a quarterback that can keep plays alive, that can turn those third and longs that we saw for so many years just turn into balls thrown into the stands.
Or taking a sack.
And you see those now turn into 40-yard runs, or even the other one where he avoids a couple of plays and get up. So Yes, I'd rather have a mobile quarterback than not have a mobile quarterback. I don't think it's necessarily, step one to winning. It's not like you got to throw away something that you've got that you're believing in and building just because you have a chance of getting it.
It's not step one, but if you want your offense to be where it is, averaging 27, 29, 30 points a game, I think that plays a big part of it. And I think the reason we've seen the improvement in the offense is because of mobility. Not saying that Iowa won 8 games this year with a normal quarterback, but I think we would have felt differently about the offense. It's that optimism that we have around the offense now of being able, hey, we don't have to rely on the defense all the time. We don't have to rely on special teams. It changes that narrative a little bit. I want to ask you a question. Now we're at 9-4. Season is over. What would you grade this season? What would you give this season a grade? If you have a grade, 515-517-2303.
I'm going to go a knee-jerk reaction, B+. B+. Go ahead.
No, I'm right there with you. Some people are like, they won 9 games. That's an A. Well, you still lost 4. You lost, to Oregon at home. You lost to Indiana at home. Yes, those are good teams. Lost to Iowa State. B+ is a good year. That's a 9-win Outback Bowl type of year, right?
You were so close. You missed the midterm by a couple questions, and then in the final, you had a couple of things that didn't go right. Travis, it's funny because my question to you was going to be, how are we going to remember this 2025 season? I like your grading thing first. What's your grade for this year? And then the second part of that can be, how do you think this year is going to be remembered? Because I think that this year is going to be remembered as the year of what could have been. A Hawkeye fan can sit down with his grandkids in 25, 30 years and go, let me tell you about 2025. Hawkeyes were this close. And then to prove that they were this close, they took the team that a lot of people were complaining that could have been in the college football playoff, and they beat them in the bowl game. That was when we had a thing called bowl games, and we thought they still might. No, I'm kidding. Back before the 200 team playoff.
Did you think clock management was a problem this year? Burger McChick says, "Hey, you guys are forgetting the clock management issues this year, fellas."
Yeah, yes, absolutely, Trav. We had a couple of games where we came. In fact, most of the losses we came back and said, "Man, the hell, why is the clock management thing still an issue?" Yeah, I remember that absolutely.
Yeah,
how are we gonna remember 2025, Trav?
I'm kind of with you on that, and that is they might eventually fade out of memory and existence, but for the next couple of years, you're going to be, that was a really good team that had the potential to be a playoff team and play with the best in the country, but just fell short when it mattered the most. It fell short against Indiana. It fell short against Oregon, and it's going to be that just what could have been, because the talent was there. I think we can look at it now, especially when the way they beat Nebraska, the way they beat Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt's probably the measuring stick. I mean, Vanderbilt beat some teams this year, right? They were 10-2 going into this game. And you kind of look at that and go, boy, they had the talent. They had everything wrapped up in a bow. They just needed to close 4 of those deals, and they didn't close it. And the Iowa State one, really, of all the losses now, if I had to rank the worst losses, in order.
Losses, hold on. Before you do this, I would need to be clear here, because I have 2 separate lists in my head right away. Okay? Most important losses and ones that hurt the most. What are you going to So if I said I could give you one of these games back, which one are you picking and why? One of those losses you get back and you get to win it. Which one are you picking and why?
Well, I think right now I'm going to go wishy-washy here, okay?
All right. You can think it through out loud. It's okay.
Okay. My gut reaction, initial reaction, like you get 2 seconds to decide. I want the Indiana win because they're the number 1 team in the country and they're the number 1 team in the college football playoff.
Yes.
But if I think it through, I'll take the Oregon win because I'm still in the mix.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'll take the Oregon win because if I get there, then I'm going to go beat USC and ride this thing out. I think if you beat Oregon, that might have changed the trajectory of the USC game. They knew when they lost to Oregon they were out, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
The worst loss of the year is Iowa State. Iowa State's the worst loss of the year.
No, hands down, but it doesn't. But changing that one doesn't do anything for you. I mean, as much as I hate to say that, changing that loss doesn't change the outcome of this season at all. Any of the other three might. USC, I'm not sure does either. Maybe, but I don't think beating USC changes it. I'm with you. It's in. My brain did the same thing yours did. I want to say Indiana right away. I want to say, man, that Indiana, if we beat Indiana, oh my God. All we had to do is beat Indiana and we're having this conversation. The Oregon game was right there. And beating Oregon just would have felt different anyway and kept you in the conversation. We could have bitched about being a 9-3 team left out of the college football playoff. That would have been fun. But I think that's the way it ranks. It's almost like two different tiers. You can talk about the Oregon-Indiana game, and then really three, because Iowa State is, you can't argue that Iowa State would be the most important loss or the one loss you'd want back, anything like that.
Yeah, Indiana, because the way they played Indiana, the way they kind of woke people up, right? They went, oh, maybe we better pay attention. And that's why even they had two losses going in that Oregon game, and people are thinking, this team's not going to be the playoffs. I think even after that, we're thinking, there's no way. But that kind of woke people up and went, well, if they beat Oregon, they're going to shoot up because they played Indiana so well, better than anybody else in the country except for Ohio State.
Woke me up?
Yes.
I was disappointed through 3 weeks of the season. I thought Indiana was going to beat Iowa by 50. Kurt Cignetti was angry. And I really thought he was going to come in and beat the snot out of the Hawkeyes. That woke me up into, oh, this is a really good football team. Right there. But so yeah, that's how you rank those games. That's how that breaks down in my mind. It looked like most of the people in the comment section were in that B plus range as well, Trav.
Yeah, the B plus. But you can't give it an A because but B plus. A very high B plus. You nailed the final exam, but your use of midterms. Sorry, you struggled in the midterm, but you rallied late. You rallied late, which is good. 515-517-2303. That's the number to call. We want you to get your phone calls in before we call it a night. When we come back, we're going to look ahead to the 2026 Iowa Hawkeye football schedule. Yes, it's time to turn the page from 2025, move on to 2026. We'll look at what the Hawkeyes have coming up next season. It is the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on therushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.
Welcome back to the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. 515-517-2303 is the number to call if you want to participate in the show with us. We save this towards the end, but I want to get this in now, Ross, and that is thanking the Iowa Lottery and Gary Presnall because The truth is, folks, this show would not have happened without the Iowa lottery, and it would not have happened without Gary Presnell. And because of their support, we were able to do this each and every week. Go for hour and a half, 2 hours after the game, and it takes partners to make that happen. So our ask to you is go buy Iowa lottery tickets, right? Go buy the scratch off tickets. I know in January the blackout tickets are going to have a special promotion. We'll be talking about those. Buy your Powerball tickets, buy your Mega Millions tickets, but get your Insta plays, get your scratch offs, and support the Iowa lottery. And Gary Presnell, if you're buying a house and you need a loan, he's the number one producer of mortgages in the state of Iowa. And Ross, you work with Gary a lot.
Yep.
And a great guy with a great cat.
Got with a great cat, Norm. Norm's becoming more of a star than Gary. That's fantastic. Gary does do a great job. Really wonderful to work with. Can help you with all sorts of stuff. VA loans, first-time home buyers. I've done a lot of different stuff with Gary in my years as a realtor. Have closings coming up here, I think on the 9th, 7th, 9th. No. That's my first closing of the month. I got like on the 16th. I got one with Gary. So, yeah, moving and shaking, man. Yeah.
And I also want to thank everybody who watches and listens to this, because this is a community. When we moved over from the old place, and I know there's still people who don't know where we're at. They'll find us eventually. I do believe that. But because you watch, because you listen, because you call, you make this show possible, and we can't thank you enough for doing that.
I thought you were going to say, when you buy your Iowa lottery tickets, make sure you tell the person at the convenience store that you want to thank the Iowa lottery for sponsoring the Rush. And that person will go, well, what's the Rush? And you go, Travis and Ross, they're back together. And they'll go, well, I used to listen to those guys. And you go, yeah, you still can.
And you can do us a favor. If you know somebody who listened to it or used to listen to us or hasn't, go tell them, hey, you can find these guys on the TuneIn app, on the rushradio.com, or on our YouTube page. So we are turning the page on 2025, going on to 2026. And there's no, college football is becoming like the NFL, Ross. It's almost 24/7, 365, right? I mean, people talk about it, especially in fandom. You go on to, we're going to hit the portal season. That's going to be in the news. You're going to hit winter workouts. Then comes spring ball. And then it's the little bit of a dead period, but hell, you got Big Ten Media Days already in July, and boom, August, you're going at it. Here is the non-conference schedule, and boy, has my opinion changed on this. If you would have talked to me at the end of November, I would have said Iowa is 2-1 coming out of the preseason, right, out of the non-conference. They've got Northern Illinois, they've got Iowa State, and then they've got Northern Iowa. Now, I really did believe, and I don't mean this as a knock, that Iowa State was going to beat Iowa next year, because I thought Iowa State was going to compete for the college football playoff
Coming
next
back
year.
With Matt Campbell and Rocco Becht and 20 starters and all. Yeah, right.
Kind of like Iowa had this year. I mean, you had 27 guys. Would they have? They're losing 18, 19 starters this year. So Iowa State was going to be loaded. They're not going to be loaded. So now you've got Iowa, I believe, coming out of the non-con with wins over Northern Illinois, wins over Iowa State, and wins over Northern Iowa. They're going to be 3-0 heading into the Big Ten season.
Agreed. And somebody asked about the dates of these. We don't know the dates yet, but we know the teams.
So the date for Northern
non-con.
Yeah, non-con, they open up with Northern Illinois on September 5th. Then they play Iowa State on September 12th. And then on September 19th, they have Northern Iowa. The rest of the games will be announced at a different time. We know who they're playing. We just don't know when. We know where. We just don't know what the dates will fall. But let's go through the rest of that conference season. And this is not where they fall on the schedule. It's just who they play. At Illinois. Illinois, and we talked about this morning on the Rush Radio Show, is like becoming Iowa. Brett Bielema is building at Illinois what Kirk Ferentz has established at Iowa, and that is just a hard, well-disciplined football team that runs the football and finds a way to get it done. They won 9 games. I mean, Illinois, and I think the only reason we don't look at Illinois and go, why aren't we celebrating their 9 wins more? Because they got their ass kicked by Indiana. So if I'm comparing Illinois and Iowa's season this year, Iowa could have beaten Indiana. Illinois was out of that thing, and gave up 60-some points to the Hoosiers. But it's not like they're going to be. You got to go to Champaign. That's not going to be an easy game.
Illinois is a tough one. I think the hardest part of it, Travis, is there at the end. It's a close matchup to begin with. Illinois is closing that gap. They are becoming a very Iowa-esque type of team. They were a top 10 team at one point this season. That's a tough game in Champaign. Not that that's a tough place to play. I just mean it's on the road in the Big Ten, and they're figuring things out. That's a tough way to start. What are there? Do their other road games first?
Okay, so at Illinois, then
tough one.
At Michigan, at Minnesota, at Northwestern, at Washington.
Oh. Dude, rank those. At Washington. At Washington's the toughest one.
Absolutely.
You said Michigan, Minnesota, Northwestern.
It all depends.
Is at Minnesota the second toughest game there next year?
No,
Still Michigan?
You're gonna have to talk to me in after January 2nd to see how many people leave Michigan. Right? I mean, if Bryce Underwood leaves, I think if he's able to retain everybody, they're gonna be pretty. That could actually go to number one.
Yep.
But
I agree with you.
Washington's going to be good. Hell, Chip Kelly now is the offensive coordinator at Northwestern. But I would say Wisconsin is the worst one. But they got better.
Wisconsin, you mean Minnesota?
Or Minnesota, yeah.
So Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, Northwestern, and Washington. Man, all winnable games too.
Yes.
I don't look at any of those and go, oh, that's an L. There's none of those that are like, well, you're at, I mean, again, at Michigan is not normal at Michigan right now. All right, home games for the Hawks next year.
Home games, you have Nebraska.
Win.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Purdue, and Wisconsin.
Okay. Man, Ohio State coming to Kinnick. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
Get the night game thing going, get the stripes going, get the blackout going, get all of it going.
I'm going to need to see how good Hecklinski is at quarterback. But just on face value right now, at least 8 wins. At least 8. That's what I'm putting it at. That's just a gut reaction.
Yeah,
maybe
I like
9.
that. I like that. I like 8 to 10. I like 8 to 10, Trav. Yeah.
515-517-2303. Let's go out to New Jersey. That's where John is. John, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, Travis and Ross. Just wanted to, I don't know if you guys have talked about this. I obviously had to work again. Go figure. But Iowa's first win against a top 25 ranked opponent in over 4 years.
Oh, that's one of the stats I had not even considered. They beat a top 25 opponent. Monkey off the back. Good job, John.
Yeah. So it got that off the schneid. Also, Kirk Ferentz surpasses Joe Paterno for in Big Ten history all time for most bowl wins with 11.
You know who's coming up on him real quick, by the way?
Either.
You know who's coming up on Kirk Ferentz real quick? PJ Fleck.
For what?
Minnesota's won 9 straight bowl games. So
I might be disappointed with how well or how well not the Hawkeyes make it in New Year's Six or college football playoff bowl games. But one thing that I am thankful for every year is that we don't have a washed-up youth pastor as a shtick for a head coach. Yes, I'm throwing shade at PJ Fleck, but that's interesting that he has 9 wins. What is it at like the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Well, you win a bowl game, you win a bowl game, man.
Senior to Buffer with maybe my favorite comment of the season, and it is PJ is so fast. New shoes fast, man. Like a little kid with new shoes.
Yeah, he runs fast. But we still whip him. So that's always good. Wanted to know what 2 questions before I leave you for the Hawkeye season. One is related to the Hawkeyes. The other one is related to the Chernobyl effect that's happening at Iowa State right now. Do you think that Tim Lester is going to leave after this game? I've heard rumors that he might be getting calls for NFL positions. And 2, I hope that that's not the case, because contrary to what everybody thinks about Seth Wallace, I'd like for Tim Lester, if he can develop a passing offense, to be the guy that takes over for Kirk Ferentz. But that's just me. And number 2, what do you guys think is going to happen to Iowa State? If there's 60 players in the transfer portal and only 17 are on the roster and they declined a bowl bid, I wonder if we're seeing, unfortunately for Iowa State, an SMU-like death penalty where it's going to take them 4 to 5 years. And even after the fact, all the money that they've pumped into this program with donors and stuff, and now loyal sons forever true, they're only as loyal as a paycheck and a head coach. Where do we go? I'll listen to you guys on the app. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
And
Appreciate
Happy
it.
New Year.
Same to you. I don't think they're loyal to the paycheck as much as they were loyal to the coach. And Ross and I have been pretty transparent on our show, and that is, it's a relationship business. We want them to like the laundry. We want them to love the laundry. The truth is, people come to play for their position coaches who recruited them and the head coach. And if you don't have that around you, it encourages you to go look somewhere else. I don't know. The only way to curb it, because I'm open for transfers, and I know, Ross, you like the free market society. I do think, in the old days you had to sit out a year if you transferred. I think you get one transfer without sitting out. If you want to move from year to year to year, I think you have to sit out. But there has to be checks and balances, right? The world just functions better when there's checks and balances on things. I mean, it just does.
Boy, the 2 questions. The first one, if Lester's leaving, I have no idea, and I'm with you. I wouldn't mind him being in that discussion with Seth Wallace as the next head coach. I think Tim Lester, I'm very happy with the job he's done as offensive coordinator. What happens to Iowa State? I almost wondered when John asked that question. My first thought was like, in what sense? But I'm glad that he clarified and said he was thinking of it like an SMU type of death penalty. Here's a difference. SMU sat in the middle of a bunch of money. When they wanted to turn it back on, when they were able to turn it back on, they could. They had the machine sitting there. What happens to Iowa State has been, man, I've had that question a lot, and the only right answer I can come up with is wait and see. Wait and see. I don't want Congress to get involved. I don't want I think the NCAA has been such a disaster. I mean, we're seeing it still in the face of stuff. Travis, have you heard the story about the D3 cross country runner who's run the fastest marathon times in D3 history? He just got declared ineligible by the NCAA because the community raised money for him. But it wasn't an NIL deal. They just gave you money to pay rent.
Oh my God. We're talking D3.
Dude,
where they can't.
It's a joke. Put a bullet in the NCAA. It's been a joke forever. And now they're letting on this. That's the same NCAA that's now letting NBA draftees go sign up and play college basketball with guys. So what happens to Iowa State? I have no idea. Wait and see. Maybe Jimmy Rogers is able to, because this is the other conversation I've had a lot lately, Travis, is it true that Iowa State has 17 guys on roster? Give it time.
Yeah,
Give it time. They're going to be, and I don't know what the current number is. Is it bad? Yes. Is that the conversation we can have? Yes. It's really bad. The specifics of how many guys have left, how many are left, I don't know. Here's what I know. Wait and see. Let's give this a little bit and see how Jimmy Rogers is able to do, to see how many guys he can bring in, what kind of guys he brings in. Here's one thing I know. Expectations are manageable. I haven't talked to a single Cyclone fan that's been like, next year, man. Woo.
I will say this. When Kirk Ferentz leaves, he'll be looked at upon as one of the greatest Hawkeyes ever. If Iowa State goes into the tank and takes 10 years to rebuild, 5 years to rebuild, Matt Campbell will not be well remembered at Iowa State. He'll be the guy who's the all-time winningest coach who dismantled the program. Because we brought it up today. I asked you if they build a statue, and that's because you're the all-time winningest coach. That's another wait and see. If they're able to get back into the winning ways fairly quickly, all will be forgiven. They're like, okay, you, and that's why Kirk Ferentz is very. That's why coaches who are around a long time are very protective of their program, saying, "Hey, I've established a way to do things here. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You got to get the right people who understand what the day-to-day process is and how this thing is maintained." Yeah, Iowa State's going to be an interesting, and I don't want them to fail. I want them to be successful. It's much better when both teams are competitive. Look at the basketball teams right now. I like it that Iowa's good. I like it that Iowa State's good. I like it when the Iowa and Iowa State football game is going to be one hell of a game. I don't want it to be lopsided one way or another. I want both teams to be good. So that's I do feel sorry for him though.
Let me run that what if by you. What if you wake up tomorrow morning and Kirk Ferentz says, "New year, new me. I've decided it's time to go out." And what if on January 3rd, 25 Hawkeyes have jumped into the portal?
You know what the difference is? He's 71 years old. And you can't, he's got less years in front of him than more.
And he's not going to another school.
Yes.
Somebody asked in the chat earlier this morning, I think, or maybe it was today when we were talking about this. What's the difference between Campbell leaving and going to Penn State and Fred Hoiberg leaving and going to the Chicago Bulls? A lot, because Fred was able to sell that as, this is my dream. This is what I really want. This is what I want to go do.
Yeah, if he would have left Iowa State and gone to Nebraska where he is now, that would have been a completely different story. Yeah. And I think if Matt Campbell would have gone to the NFL instead of a college team, that you still would have had the same effect, but it would have been looked upon completely differently. After we got off the air, I was watching our TikTok reel about the statue conversation, and I came to the conclusion, outside the National Football League, nobody was ever going to be happy. The only way he could have solidified his place was to stay at Iowa State forever. He went to one of the top 5 or 6 programs.
But man, I think it's the exodus with it. I think, and that is a hate the game, not the player thing, where it's not his fault that the system allows for 40 guys to transfer out behind him. It's not his fault. You know what, Travis? I hadn't thought about this a long time, and that just went through my brain as we were talking about Hoiberg. Do you remember the reason that it wasn't Fred Hoiberg was like, "Hey, my dream"? Do you remember why he didn't want to be at Iowa State anymore? The recruiting.
And look at it. It's taken him 6 years to recruit halfway decent at Nebraska. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Des Moines. That's where Jim is. Jim, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush.
Travis.
Oh, Jesus. What's up? Happy New
Travis,
Year.
Your wife must be a nice lady because your son doesn't take after you. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
He's a very nice young gentleman.
Good kid.
Yeah,
good kid.
He is.
Okay, hey, do you think the Nebraska quarterback will come to us?
Oh, he hung up. He actually hung up. I didn't hang up on him. No, Dylan Raiola is not coming to Iowa. And we heard Kirk Ferentz say that never say never, but quarterback's not going to be a priority in the transfer portal. And I don't think it needs to be. Before we get out of here, I do want to ask you this question, Ross, because Dan Lanning brought it up yesterday, and this has to do with college football as a whole. Here we are on December 31st. You got a quarterfinal game tonight. You got some quarterfinal games tomorrow, but still we got the semifinals to play in the final. College football is going well deep into January. Dan Lanning says the season needs to end on January 1st. It needs to end. There needs to be a realistic calendar, things need to get aligned. And there's too much time off. Think about it. Oregon hasn't played since the last week of the season. FCS has this thing figured out. Division II has this thing figured out. What do you think about, hey, as soon as the championship games are over, the next week you're going at it, man. You're going at it.
Do you know when the championship game is scheduled for?
Is it in February?
It's not in February quite yet. It's January 19th right now.
Okay.
Towards the end of January, you could say.
Yeah.
There's a lot needs to happen with college sports. A lot needs to happen with college football. Something needs to happen to corral.
Because basketball's fine.
Yeah, it seems like most of the other sports are fine. Most of the other
with the exception of NBA draftees getting to play, but the calendar is set up just fine.
With the exception of the whole idea of this thing getting blown up. You're right. I don't know what the right answer is here, and I think that somehow Dan Lanning is right about this. There has to be a regulation put on it. Somebody should stand up now and go, okay, we won't have a championship game past January 15th. And at least I don't know, maybe that gives a little bit of wiggle room. We've said this all along since our days of talking with Mark Farley early in the mornings on Thursday mornings. The FCS has had this thing figured out. There's no reinventing the wheel.
And they have a 24-team playoff, not a 12-team playoff. It's greed and money and television. That's all it is.
And while we're going to figure out this transfer portal window and maybe when coaches should be able to leave window, and we're gonna and it's going to somehow incorporate into the academic windows, which is like 4th or 5th on the priority list.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Jim in Des Moines. Jim.
Hey, did you hang up on me?
No, you hung up on me, man. I think you're trying to set me up.
No, I did not. Hey, how's Ross doing going to Big Earls? Is he still going there or not?
Been a while, Jim. Been 20.
How many games do you think the Bruce Campbell's going to win up in Penn State?
You mean Matt Campbell?
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I mean Matt Campbell. Bruce Campbell's from the best group ever. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. How many wins do you think Penn State's going to do in his first year?
And it's Mike Campbell, not Bruce Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's Campbell.
Yeah,
it's Campbell. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, he's the guy that sang Rhinestone Cowboy. I would say, Jim, he's probably in that 10-win range next year.
I looked, and it's going to be 11, and the worst game is Michigan, and the black guy slept with the white lady and knocked her up, so I don't think Michigan's going to do any good this year. So they might go 11-1. What do you guys think?
That very well could be.
The schedule's setting up nice for him.
I want to be clear, I'm only agreeing with the latter part of it.
How's your son doing in wrestling? I miss you guys on KXNO during the week. We have Butthead.
You can listen to us during the week, Jim.
Every morning we're here, buddy.
Every morning we're here.
Every morning we're here.
Hey, I have to go to work from 6 to 7, and you guys ain't on the radio, and you're not supposed to drive and look at your phone.
All you have to do is plug in your. I mean, do you have a phone that plays your phone? Do you have a car that plays your phone over your radio?
Travis, I ain't rich like you. I have a 2003 Silverado with 180,000 miles, and I have a Malibu, a 2012 with 102,000 miles, and they both don't have that, sir.
All right, Jim. I gotta let you go. I've got phone calls stacked up, man. So we gotta let you go.
Okay, go Hawks.
The people are listening like, really? Because Justin just texted me, goes, I'm having PTSD from producing the show.
So Justin can verify what I'm about to tell you, because Flag wrote in and said, what the? And Rev said, he's an actor. Guys, that's the real deal.
And how about this? That's like the most normal call we've had at Jim in a long time.
I was going to say that same thing. That's the most like conversational we've ever been. And I've met Jim. I've told you that. Like Derek from New Sharon, I can vouch that these are real characters walking around amongst us.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Chad. Chad, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's up, Chad?
Yeah, I was listening this morning. You guys were kind of talking about the mass exodus from Iowa State. I know this isn't an Iowa State podcast.
Oh, you're fine.
But John kind of brought it up. Why is the new coach, forget his name, why is he getting a pass? Is he not able to sell any of these guys?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's had 2 or 3 weeks. Why isn't he taking some heat? If I'm an Iowa State fan, I'm going, first of all, we didn't hire the guy within to maybe keep some of these guys. Now we got a guy that can't even recruit Iowa guys that are staying there. Even the Iowa guys are leaving.
I'm not saying,
why does he get a pass?
Just hear me out. I'm not saying for everybody that's in there. I do think, let's use Iowa, for example. Do we think Iowa's the highest paying university out there? No. But I think a lot of guys do stay for the coaches and Kirk Ferentz, and they're happy with the money they're getting. Now, and I think this was the case last year. They didn't work their ass off to keep Rocco Beck last year. But I think people said, we got a good culture here. I like who I'm playing for. I trust these guys. They have my best interest. Now what happens is there's tampering. You're seeing the money out there, and you're going, well, I don't know this guy. I'm sure he can sell me a vision, but I'm getting this offer. I'm going to go take it. Now, not everybody's going to get rich out of this. Of the 40 that are in the transfer portal, some might end up in an FCS school. Who knows?
Yeah.
Some will be for playing time. Some will be for money. But if there was ever a time to test the waters, this would be it. And, I mean, Kyle Whittingham's going to have to do it at Michigan. We're going to find out right after the Michigan game today how good Kyle Whittingham is at keeping players around. Matt Campbell's going to have to do it at Penn State. So it's a wait and see on all this. But it's free agency once your coach leaves.
What was the caller's name? I'm sorry, Travis.
Chad. This is Chad.
I'm sorry. And Chad, the other one I would like to, because Travis and I have given quite a pass to Jamie Pollard. We both know Jamie. We both like Jamie a lot. We have a lot of respect for him and a lot of respect for the job that he's done up there. And so he and I have both been, I wouldn't say defensive of Jamie Pollard anyway, but we really haven't pointed any blame at him. As a Cyclone fan, how are you feeling about Jamie Pollard and the job that he's done handling these last couple of months?
I'm definitely not a Cyclone fan. I've been a Hawkeye since.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you were. I apologize. I'm sorry.
No. I did. I said I didn't want to bring it up, but since you guys were talking about this morning,
I see. Okay, sorry.
If I'm a Cyclone fan, from my perspective, this is on Jamie. If this doesn't work, this is his legacy at this place.
Oh boy,
he's done really well until now. So if this happens and this guy falls in his face and they have trouble, when are they going to come for him?
Man, I'll tell you this, Chad. Most of the people in the chat are agreeing with you. I've seen a lot of people right now saying, man, Pollard really effed this up. Jamie doesn't get this NIL thing.
We don't know he messed it up yet.
We have to give him the benefit of the doubt. But in 3 years, if they're back to, oh great, we're 6-6 now, then Jamie's going to be called to the carpet. If I'm an Iowa State fan, I'd be, we all sat here and complained about Barta for years and years. So, I don't know why they wouldn't complain about Jamie. He's done a hell of a job until now. And this is where the rubber will hit the road for him.
Wow. And thanks, Chad. Great call, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chad. I'd love to sit with Brent Bloom and have a deeper conversation about the financial situations at Iowa State. Because, unfortunately, this is the bad part. It's the good part and bad part. The finances are going to dictate a lot.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Ross, the phones are lining up. I don't know why it took 2 hours, but it's like, okay, 515-517-2303. Let's go to Altoona. That's where Caleb is. Caleb, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
Hey, fellas, I've been watching since you guys came on. Here's my thought on the whole coaching thing. I think it all depends whether you get players on transfer or not. And you guys tell me your opinions on this. It's all about who you bring in as your coach, too. I think if Kurt Ferentz says, hey, I'm hanging it up, and Iowa goes out and says, you know what? We love Seth Wallace, we love Tim Lester, but let's get a Bob Stoops. I think you bring in a guy like Bob Stoops or somebody of that caliber to a program. I don't think you lose that many players to the portal. When it comes to the Iowa State thing, I think you're bringing in a guy that not a lot of people knew. And I think a lot of people, especially Iowa State fans, are kind of questioning the loyalty with him a little bit. He jumped ship and went to Washington State, and then he kind of jumped ship and came straight to Iowa State. I think the key part of that is who do you bring in after? Like after 20-plus seasons with Iowa, Kurt Ferentz hangs it up. They'll build him a statue. Who do you bring in next? And I think that guy that you bring in next, the successor, is a huge role player in how many people use to the transfer.
Somebody much younger than either one of the Stoops. I guess Mark 58, but Bob Stoops is what? 65?
Well, he's older than that now.
So yeah,
I thought he was 62.
Who? Bob Stoops?
Yeah.
No, I think he's older than that.
Yeah, I think you want a younger. I understand what you're saying there, Caleb, but when that day comes,
Bob Stoops is 65.
65? Okay.
65.
65. Mark's 58. I don't want either one of the Stoops brothers, and that's not a knock on Bob or Mark Stoops. I would just say I want somebody younger, and I would want somebody with maybe more of a vision for the future of college football and is prepped for the future of college football and all those sorts of other things. But maybe I'm wrong. I've always been wrong about coaches.
Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate it, man.
I get where you guys are coming from.
Thanks,
thank
man.
you.
It's a hard thing to make. I understand wanting to promote from within, but you better make sure that person is head coach. You just don't promote just because you want to promote somebody. Yeah. You got to make sure they have the qualities of a head coach. And being a head coach, you're a CEO. You've got to know how to run multiple things, and there's a learning curve there. 515-517-2303. Owen was quick to put it out in the screener. It's a different Jim. Jim in Des Moines, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
Oh, thanks, Owen. Appreciate that, man. Hey, yeah, well, I was going to say, Ross, this is Jim from Des Moines, and you and I did meet that one time at damn pub, but I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any confusion. But yeah. So
no, exactly. Hey, this is Jim, and the tortillas were fantastic.
Yeah, and in the theme of Hispanic folks, let's see, Feliz Año Nuevo. That's Spanish for Happy New Year. But I just wanted to say this real quick.
And huevos ranchos to you as well.
Huevos ranchos. Huevos rancheros.
Huevos ranchero.
Yeah, we're having breakfast, folks.
Nacho Libre. But yeah, this is one thing been wanting to say. It's probably better for your daily show, but I'm saying it because I like you guys. I'm worried about your mental health, but I think you guys are really depriving yourself of some football enjoyment by poo-pooing the whole bowl thing, man. I mean, I know there's a few that probably don't need to happen. Some of these 6-6 Sun Belt matchups and stuff, but just take, for instance, last night, the TCU USC game. I mean, that was a hell of a game. And those guys were out there leaving it all on the field. And one thing about last night, you guys probably know this, that TCU beat USC, right? And then Iowa beat Vanderbilt. And both Vanderbilt
Jim, I'm going to stop you right now. Jim, I'm going to stop you. Just hear me. Just hear me out. You obviously didn't listen to this morning's show, and that's okay, because we actually brought this up. We said, hey, did we get the bowl thing wrong? This was a conversation we had this morning. I said, are we getting the bowl thing wrong? Do we get rid of like some of those early on bowls, but the matchups like we had last night? And I brought up USC TCU. I brought up the other game, and I said maybe when we get into these better matchups where you have better quality teams, it's a better attraction. It's funny that you made this, but we just had this conversation this morning, believe it or not.
Yeah, and and I also do think is cool, like an occasional matchup between a mid-major, like a Mountain West, a good team with 9-10 wins versus like a 7-win Power 4 conference game, kind of like New Mexico versus Minnesota. That to me that has a little bit of intrigue. But one thing I wanted to end on. Okay, so last night TCU beat USC. And today, Iowa beat Vanderbilt. Both USC and Vanderbilt both had, hopes of making the college football playoff. And some people say that, maybe even Vanderbilt might have. Now, Iowa State beat both Iowa and TCU. Now, what is the only conclusion you can draw from that?
What is
Iowa State probably should have been in the playoff. Happy New Year, guys.
See you, Jim. Look at Jim. It's only right, Ross, that we end 2025 with this phone call.
Is it going to be a Bush
Nope.
lady? Is it going to be Derek from New Sharon?
Nope.
Is it going to be?
Give me a bong hit. Give me a bong hit.
Oh, the Rev. This is absolutely appropriate that the last phone call we take in 2025 is our buddy Reverend Ray. Ray, what's up, bud?
Sí, bueno nuevo. Yeah, I just firing up. I was wanting to, feed my ego and get that last call in on the air and everything after listening to you guys and thanking you for bringing the show back and getting us all together again. And just want to throw out the top 5 from the Rush Radio since I didn't get a call in before that last show. Are you guys doing a show tomorrow morning?
Yes, we'll be here tomorrow morning.
We are?
You didn't know
All
that?
right,
I had it scheduled.
Are you kidding me?
You heard it here first.
Oh, my God. I was not planning on being here tomorrow morning.
So,
Well,
number one.
if you don't want to do one
on the Rush Radio,
we don't have to do one. I guess we're not doing a show tomorrow.
you guys. Well, I don't know. Well, the hardcores will be there looking for it in the morning. But the Caitlin Clark shooting challenge at Grandview, that's number 1.
Okay.
Number two would be the Central City Liquors. That was a great stop there. And we're trying to formulate when there's going to be a 1-year party for the listener party for Rush Radio.
Well, we have a call on next week. We'll see if we can get that organized. January 27th is our anniversary date, so we'll see if we can make one happen, Ray.
All right. So then the next on the list, we did the Central City, the Grandview, then JR South Fork Ranch, of course. That was an awesome event too. I can't thank you guys enough for the visibility and the promotion I was able to get there, and I got a lot of viewers to my YouTube for those.
You were our
events.
technical. You were our key grip.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Too legit to quit all the way. And then number 4 would be Owen's van and that whole ordeal with his van. Owen, it sounds like it's a runner now. And then and then number 5 would be both of you guys combined on your trips to Europe, man. Those were some great calls from you guys in your adventures there.
All right, Reb. Thanks, buddy. You got more?
And of course, Ross's fishing trips. And Ross's fishing trips, too. All right. Hey, I'll see you in the morning.
Maybe. I shocked Ross.
I didn't know you wanted. I did. I totally planned to just crash and not tune in.
That's fine because you're going out late, right?
Yeah, I am.
Hey,
Filippo's one of my top 5. Filippo's definitely one of my top 5 moments. That was fantastic. Travis, we broadcast live from Omaha, from Des Moines.
Yeah.
I broadcast live from Wisconsin.
You broadcast live from Dublin.
From Dublin. You were live in Italy. I was live in Canada twice, 2 different times. We were up in Canada fishing and didn't miss a show during any of those. Yeah, we had a fun year. Owen's hopping on with us?
Owen's on right now. Do you want to do a father-son show tomorrow? Or you're going out tonight, too. You probably don't want to get up in the morning and sit with me at 6 a.m., do you?
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
That's
Justin.
fair.
Justin Miller.
I mean, you don't need to do a New Year's Day show.
Okay.
Just sleep in.
Okay.
Lunatic.
We'll sleep in. We'll sleep in.
Lunatic.
We're not doing a show tomorrow. We'll be here on Friday morning. We can do
Perfect.
it.
You're
All
going
right.
to feel really guilty tomorrow, aren't you? You're
Oh
gonna feel-
God, because Iowa basketball plays tomorrow. They got UCLA tomorrow. Another bowl recap, but that's fine. We got the college football playoff tonight, and we got all those playoff games tomorrow. But that's fine. There's nothing to talk about.
Oh gosh.
All right, son. You have a great New Year. Thanks for
and
screening the
thank
calls,
you.
man. We
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
an awesome year, and thank you so much for all your help and helping us get this far, man. We greatly, greatly appreciate it, buddy. I mean it.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
So this morning, Dad calls me and he's like, "Hey, everything's messed up on the our little broadcasting system there." And I'm like, "Oh, what the hell could have happened? I thought I had it all lined up, and everything was set to December 31st, and then it ended, like all our scheduling stuff. So that's a good sign that we made it all the way through the year. Because when I set all that stuff up back in January, I thought, oh well, this will be a long ways away. I won't have to worry about this. And then this morning, I'm like, oh, I completely forgot all that happened. Yeah, so we're set up for another year. This morning, I got it set up till December 31st of next year, where I can forget that it ends again. So
you can be shocked we did another year.
yep.
All right. Have fun tonight. Happy New Year.
Yep. Happy New Year.
Yep. Oh man, Ross, thank you so much for your friendship.
Love you, buddy. You know
for
that.
getting on with me every morning, every Saturday.
It couldn't imagine waking up any morning without you, as I don't wake up tomorrow morning with.
That's fine. I'll put a tweet in a Facebook post. No New Year's Day show.
We'll be back Friday. We can recap all that stuff.
Yeah, we can do that.
Fine.
We can do that. You know, I feel guilty though. I mean,
I
this
know.
is this.
I honestly thought we had just kind of made the assumption we weren't, but
sure.
I'm gonna go have fun.
You go have fun. Thank you to everybody who watched and listened. We appreciate it. Good year for the Hawkeyes, 9-4. We'll be back. We might even do some basketball. They won't be on a regular basis, but if there's some big weekend games or something,
now we got freedom. It's easy. You're sitting at home.
We can do that. So especially as we get deeper into the Big Ten season, don't be surprised if we do a couple basketball shows as well. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe tonight. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, or just drink at home. And you've been listening and watching the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
My name is Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines metro market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat, Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage, and that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on the rushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.